Hey guys, what's going on? This is Fred2266 here today. I'm here to read Chapter 4 of Bolt by Kaleidoscope Heavens. Chapter 4 is called The Introduction, and let's get going. It looked like any other building. Besides the bright gold lightning bolt that hung as a sign above the plain wooden doors, it was normal. It was big, roughly the size of a large mansion, but it looked nothing like a mansion. The paint was a light red color, its chipped sections revealing a worn brick underneath. The cracked windows had been dotted with water spots, their metal frames rusted, but the bright emblem gleamed brightly on top of it, its ivory wings glowing in the sun. Rainbow Dash expected more from the Wonderbolts. This building was run down and beat up. It appeared as if it hadn't been occupied in years. She glanced around the empty Canterlot street and sighed. For a world-class flying team, they sure didn't have that great of a headquarters. Hesitantly, she trudged up to the cracked stone stairs and pulled the rusty handle. Locked, she thought grudgingly. Who the hay sends the address to some dump anyways? She kicked the door in frustration and sat on the rough steps. It had been a month since Rainbow Dash had received her letter. Once she was out of her cast, she did nothing but practice tricks and flips. No more than a week later, she had received another letter detailing the Wonderbolt's whereabouts. She stopped her vigorous exercises to go to the headquarters, only to find a dump. She groaned in frustration. "Who's there?" came a gruff voice behind her. Rainbow Dash saw a pale green eye sticking out of the mail slot. The eye spotted her sitting on the step and growled. "Who are you?" She gaped at the eye and then cleared her throat. "My name's Rainbow Dash." The eye widened and unstuck itself from the mail slot. Then came a series of clicks Rainbow Dash could only identify as locks being opened. The wooden door swung open, and Rainbow Dash apprehensively walked inside a small office. Papers floated everywhere as a rotating fan whirred and blew everything about the room. Filing cabinets lined the walls, its drawers protruding with papers and folders spilling out of the sides. A dark gray griffin sat at a desk, his light green gaze glued to a gun magazine. Rainbow Dash scrunched her eyebrows in confusion. The gray griffin raised a black talon to a door on the side of the room, eyes never leaving his magazine. Rainbow Dash threw an inquisitive glance at the door and shuffled her hooves. Right. She crossed the unorganized office and opened the door quietly. The office she entered now was much bigger, minus floating papers. Instead of filing cabinets lining the walls, bookcases covered the back wall, containing shelves of framed pictures. In the middle of the room, sitting in a desk chair, was a yellow mare. It was Spitfire, captain of the Wonderbolts. Her captain! She was riding loudly, not acknowledging the rainbow-haired mare standing at the threshold of the door. Finally, she raised her eyes from paperwork. Her expression was impassive as Rainbow Dash stood straight and saluted. Rainbow felt a small amount of sweat trickle down her forehead as her captain inspected her. Then she did the last thing Rainbow Dash expected. She smiled. "There's no need to do that now, Rainbow Dash. You're part of the team now." Rainbow Dash's muscles loosened and she sighed. A bright grin spread across her face. "I won't let you down, Captain." Spitfire was silent for a moment, making Rainbow Dash nervous. When she spoke, Rainbow Dash held her breath. "You know, I was a little hesitant to let you into the team." Her heart dropped. "You were big-headed. You were very stubborn, and you had a huge mouth. I thought you would never get into the Wonderbolts myself." She went on, making Rainbow Dash feel worse. "You had no teamsmanship skills. But when you risked your life to save your friends, to save my life, to even save Equestria, I thought that maybe you learned a couple things. So ever since the Best Young Flyers competition, I've been keeping an eye on you. I watched you perform your third Sonic Rainboom. I watched you join the Academy, and I watched... Well, Soren watched, as you passed the last test in order to become a Wonderbolt. I thought it was time." She crossed the room and opened a cabinet on the side wall. "To give you this." She clutched a brand new blue uniform with yellow trim and a pair of flight goggles. The new uniform glowed from the sunlight that seeped through its blinds, and the goggles shimmered, the light reflecting off the lens creating a multicolored halo around it. It was too good to be true. Rainbow Dash grinned, eyes sparkling with tears as she held out her hoof to receive the greatest gift she was ever given. Spitfire smiled again. "Best day ever!" Rainbow Dash cheered, looping in the air and thrusting up her hoof. She looked down at Spitfire, who was looking at her with an amused smile. She blushed and floated to the ground. "I'll, go put this on in the locker room, I suppose." Spitfire's eyes widened. "Oh, that reminds me. You're going to need some pony to show you the ropes around here. I know just the guy." "Oh, it's Soren! Yay!" Gonna do his voice. She opened the door on the other side of her office and stuck out her head. "Soren! Come and meet the new member." A mere second later, a pale blue stallion entered Spitfire's office, a bright shine in his green eyes. "Hey, it's the Pie Saver!" Rainbow Dash smirked in response, hardly believing any pony could remember something as small as that. Spitfire rolled her eyes before giving off a list of instructions. First, Soren, I want you to give Rainbow Dash here a tour of the headquarters. Introduce her to the rest of the teammates. Let her get to know them. This should take 30 minutes tops. Once you're done, we need to practice for the upcoming air show in Philadelphia. Rainbow Dash, if you think you're up to it, I want you to do your Sonic Rainboom. She acknowledged them with a fiery orange gaze. Rainbow Dash smiled and saluted her new captain. Sonic Rainbooms? Please, I can do that in my sleep. The captain grinned. At ease. The two Pegasi left the office, entering a new room completely unlike the last. The entire room was a bluish gray with high ceilings. The windows allowed light to escape into the gray atrium, though it was abruptly stopped by the stone beams that connected two walls opposite each other. The rows of lockers lay in the left wall, the navy blue and gold metal glowing under the soft light. In the middle lay two square tables, and two Pegasi sat in wooden chairs, staring intently at the cards in their hooves. One was a pale blue mare with a coat similar to Soren's. Her curly navy blue mane was in a messy ponytail, and her red eyes were fixated on the cards she held. A fat cigar stuck out of her lips, emitting smoke in large gray clouds. She smirked and laid down her cards to show the stallion opposite her. Read 'em and weep, Rapid. The stallion groaned as the mare took a mountain of chips away from the center of the table. She dealt the cards. Soren gave the mare a mocking, stern look. Whinsey, you know you're not supposed to smoke. The mare did not look up from her cards as she responded. Yeah, well, according to my therapist, I'm not supposed to gamble either. She glared at the stallion as she shoved her his hand, 4 kings, and took back the chips he lost. He was a pale yellow stallion with pitch black hair. His dark brown eyes watched his hoofs intently as he shuffled the cards. Soren sighed his defeat. Yeah, well, Spitfire will get you later. Put it out before she finds you and come meet the rookie. The mare raised her scrutinizing gaze at Rainbow Dash, puffing her cigar. You that Rainbow Pony? Yep, Rainbow Dash met her gaze. Did the Sonic Rainboom? Hey, yeah. You're okay. Yeah, she saved Equestria 3 times and she's okay. You fucking lung cancer bitch. She held out her hooves to be shaken. Rainbow Dash took hold of her hoof and shook it firmly. Name's Highwinds. The stallion before her chuckled. Appropriate name for her considering how much she... He fell silent at the dirty look she was giving him. The stallion dealt the cards to her and himself before raising his gaze at Rainbow Dash. Glad to see you made it on the team. Finally. Soren and Spitfire told us about you. My name's Rapid Fire. When Rainbow Dash shook his hoof, he returned to his losing battle with Highwinds. Rainbow Dash heard him mutter curses towards Highwinds, and her snarky reply. She and Soren walked past the duo, right to one of the lockers. Don't worry about those two. When they're not practicing for shows, they're playing cards. Anyways, here's your locker. If you need anything, I'll be by the doors at the end of the room. He trotted towards the back of the room. Away from Rainbow, she quickly slipped on the uniform, feeling it conform to her body. She opened the locker, thankful to see a mirror in it. She looked with an inflated heart in her reflection. It fit her like a glove, feeling taut, but also quite maneuverable. It was cool on her warm body, making her feel unusually comfortable. The gold trim gleamed under the light, standing out against the bright blue base. She was in a Wonderbolt uniform for the first time ever. Letting an excited squeal escape, she slipped the goggles over her head, letting it hang from her neck. She followed Soren inside the long hallway, where he began to describe the building itself. You may have noticed how crappy this building kind of looks on the outside, but rest assured it's completely fine. You see, the Wonderbolts used to be part of the military. Now it's just stunt flyers. This used to be their headquarters, but we changed it up a bit. The walls are reinforced with metal so thick that if 100 ponies scream simultaneously inside this building, no pony will hear on the outside. We used it to ward away paparazzi, but of course they found us anyway. Sometimes I swear that they have this place bugged. I mean, how else would they know about my pie cravings and the exact time I go to bed? Fucking slime. Rainbow Dash laughed at him as they pushed through heavy double doors and into another large room. It was obviously a gym, with walls so long they appeared to be 20 feet long. Large, expensive pieces of equipment were scattered around the room. Their hooves were muffled by the wood panel around as they approached 2 similar-looking stallions who were using the treadmills. One spotted Rainbow Dash and Soren and said, Oi, mate! To his friend. They lifted themselves into the air and hovered towards them. This is Lightning Streak and Fire Streak, the 2 jokesters of the team, Soren said, if a little negative. One, a pale cream stallion with lightning yellow hair bowed in his knee. Pleasure to meet such a fine young man as yourself. His voice was bratish, and his eyebrows lifted suggestively. The other stallion, a Pegasus with light ginger hair, has no soul. In the same creamy coat, pushed his companion out of the way and bowed in a similar manner. Please ignore my pig-headed brother. I wish I could pay you back in some form. How about dinner? He smiled a crooked smile. Rainbow Dash backed away slightly, tail twitching, and glared at the two as the two of them as they began to squabble finally. With lightning streak as a victor, he trotted up to Rainbow Dash and smoothed back his hair. So, like I was saying, he raised a sly eyebrow. Dinner? Her glare intensified as she retorted, Sorry, but no. Lightning Streak shared a disappointed look with his brother before cockily braying, I'll get the yes. I always get the yes. The two brothers shared a brief hoof bump before returning to their exercises. Rainbow Dash turned to Soren, who was glaring at the twins. Always thought they took stuff too far. He saw Rainbow Dash looking at him, with an eyebrow cocked up, and just smiled. Just don't let them get to you. They hit on every mare in existence, and then get rejected by every mare in existence. She smiled as he continued on through the gym, passing a couple of their teammates as they walked by. There's Blaze, he indicated with his hoof at the yellow mare who was furiously doing wing-ups. She's Spitfire's sister, as you probably already know. Always tries too hard. She's nice, but I think she acts too much like her sister sometimes. They maneuvered throughout the gym, Soren pointing out Silver Lining, a laid-back gray stallion who was napping on one of the pull-up stations. Breeze, a white Pegasus mare with yellow mane who seemed ecstatic to meet Rainbow Dash, and Misty, a creamy mare with mint-colored hair who barely responded when Soren called a friendly greeting. They passed the gym and climbed upstairs to the headquarters, and entered a large hallway that reminded Rainbow Dash of college dorms. A door on the far right end of the hallway opened, a pale blue mare trotting out. She had icy white hair and pale violet eyes that seemed to burn with pride. Rainbow Dash smiled widely, already knowing the name of this particular wonderbolt. Fleetfoot, her favorite member of the team. She approached the two broken ponies in silence. It wasn't until Soren lifted his hoof in awkward greeting that when silence was broken. Hi, Fleetfoot. This is Rainbow Dash. The mare regarded her coldly. Why is she here? Rainbow Dash's smile faltered. She's a new rookie. She just joined the team a month ago. She's a mare that performed the Sonic Rain Boom, Fleetfoot supplied, but instead of the excited look many ponies had when discovering she did Sonic Rain Boom, she scowled. Jealous bitch. Rainbow Dash's heart fell to her hooves as the mare pushed him out of her way and left the room. Soren's forced smile disappeared when she did, and turned away from the door. Don't be offended. She acts that way to any pony who threads her position on the team, which is pretty much every pony, Soren said darkly. Her wings drooped as she followed the stallion down the hall into a room diagonal to Fleetfoot's. Anyway, Soren opened the door. This'll be where you're staying. I mean, you don't have to stay here, per se, but considering you live in Ponyville. The room was small, but big enough to live in. A neat twin bed lay in the middle of the room, a bright Wonderbolt symbol stitched into the covers. A sliding door closet lay in the left wall, while the wall was just opposite had a large white dresser. A curtained window was set above the bed, the dark blue curtains refusing any of the light to escape. A lamp sat in the corner of the room, its light turned on. Remember, practice in 5 minutes. I'll give you some time alone to settle in. There's some land outside the headquarters that we use for practice. Wave Chill's probably out there now. Spitfire's pretty hard, so be prepared. His eyes skimmed Rainbow's face briefly before saying, I'm looking forward to getting to know you better, Rainbow Dash. He smiled briefly before leaving the room, closing the door behind him. Rainbow Dash smirked and responded to empty air. Me too. So that was chapter 4. Yeah, some of the Wonderbolts seem like fucking dicks. Especially Fleetfoot, that other smoking bitch. I don't mean smoking as in smoking hot. I mean she's got lung cancer. She's a fucking idiot. I don't like him. I only like Soren and Spitfire. And Rainbow Dash now, because she's a Wonderbolt. Other than that, they can all fucking suck dick. With that in mind, maybe they'll be better the next chapter, or get nice, or stop being assholes, or something. Either way, thank you for watching, listening. And today I'll either be reading another chapter of Fallout Equestria or Past Sins. Whichever one's shorter, we'll find out, because I don't know yet, but stay tuned for that. Till then, see ya.